Am I alive or not? Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. Damn, I'm sexy. This video, we're gonna be talking about political knowledge, man, self-empowerment, because you know I'm all about the self-empowerment, self-improvement. We're gonna bring on one of the Nigerian brothers, man. We're gonna be talking about something that we all need to know about, man. I know I don't usually touch on politics or political topics, but it needs to happen, especially around this time, man. So let's get to it, man. I was having some technical difficulties. Facebook is not messing with me at this point, but that's okay, man. We got to stick it to the man and get this thing done, bro, because it's time. I think am I connected to the Bluetooth? I am. That's the devil trying to come against this knowledge. Yo, what's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up?
Chilling, man, chilling.
How you doing over there?
Hanging in there, bro. Actually, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's great. That's great. That's great, man.
Yeah.
So, for this video, you already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna make things a little bit more serious. We're gonna dive into the topic of politics, man. So, I like what you were
All right.
talking about when it comes to, Nigeria being multi-ethnic and very diverse and well populated with different people from different walks of life. So, just tell me about a little bit where you come from. Give me some background on that.
Okay. Nigeria is a country, is a diverse country, multi-ethnic country of I think close to more than 500 ethnic groups and languages. Okay.
Yeah, did not know that.
And yeah, more than 500 ethnic groups and languages combined. Then, when the British came, it all started when the British came. They established a country called Nigeria by joining most ethnic groups that weren't supposed to be part of the confederation. So that all brought so much people together. And as it is now, we are all living well, we are living fine, kind of. But it's good, it's okay around here.
So let me ask you this: How did you get into politics at first initially?
Okay. In Nigeria. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, man.
Yeah. In Nigeria, it depends based on your age, actually, but most people start very early by participating in local and local student activities. Student unionism and local gatherings and all kind of things now. So that is how it all starts. But constitutionally, you have to get to a certain age in order to enroll politically.
So you would say that the people in Nigeria are overall more politically well versed. They know what's going on politically. Because a lot of people in America, they pretty much just vote off their emotions. They don't have any knowledge on it. They vote for who their friends and their family is going to vote for, which is very debilitating to us as a country, as a nation, as a community, small, big, and large. So would you say that's something that is a part of your culture as a Nigerian, being politically aware?
In Nigeria, it's kind of different here. We gained independence in 1960, and up to this point, we are still backward. We are still how our colonial masters left us, and even worse, because then things were much better than how it is now. And, cost of living is going high. So for those reasons, the government are not doing much for the people. So the people are not like more focused in politics anymore. Everyone is just dived into business. That is why you hear Nigeria going far enough when it comes to business. They don't care about who is in power. But if you check our geopolitical structure, it's kind of in northern and southern something. So that we'll discuss that along the way. But currently, I would say the adult population are not educated politically. So I think that has a long way to go in building the electoral process of the country.
So, okay. That okay. What do you think would actually empower both my community and the Nigerian community? How would you use politics and the art of being political and the political sciences and knowledge to be able to pretty much empower the people? Because that's what my whole brand is about: being better than you were yesterday and improving, consistently evolving. What are some things that you would tell the people, universally, that they need to be doing to empower themselves with the politics?
As it stands now, yes, or in Nigeria, should focus more on empowerment. There is a empowerment education. Focus more on these kind of education that deals more on empowering youth. Because as it stands now, most people that should be in government are technocrats. The technocrats are supposed to be in government, but what we are having right now are not technocrats. In the US, it may be different, but in Nigeria, yeah, what we're having in government are just people that are there for their own selfish interest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult to opt them, to remove them. That is why we experience too much military coup in Africa. It's because these persons in power, these old people in power, tend to remove each other. But now we students in I will just stay around and observe what's going on. What they need to do now is to empower themselves. Form an organization. I'm not saying they should form a wrong organization. They should use true student unionism, empower themselves politically by learning politics, political education. It can help build a better future. Politics teach how to develop. Politics, according to Laxwell, said who gets what, when, and how. So politics helps shapes the future. I mean, if we can enlighten ourselves, we'll be able to make decisions on voting. You understand? So we're able to know who to vote, the reason to vote, the principle, what these persons have to offer. Here in Nigeria, we have just two political parties that are vibrant. So, and they spend money a lot when it comes to election. So if students and the young youth population can learn not to be money conscious, but to vote the person that can change the future, the person that can do something that can make impact, then I believe that is a good start.
I like that, man. So pretty much knowing what to look for in a politician and enlightening the youth and those who are going to take actual. You said a lot, man. I really dig that answer. So pretty much learning how to, you're welcome, learning how to educate the youth in order for them to be able to see what needs to be done before they vote and who they need to be voting on. And if they're not going to take part in any political movements, for them to empower themselves so they're not affected by the government. That is dope. Yeah, that's what we need to do here too. That is
true.
Exactly what we need to do here. If you were to, I mean, when you when you go forward with your political decisions, what are some things that you look for in a politician or a political party?
Should I focus more on? I should focus more on my country, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, you could. You could
Okay.
focus on Nigeria, or you could focus on
Well,
America.
in Nigeria, the political structure is kind of complicated because each party is viewed. The country is kind of a country whereby there are majority Muslim in the north and Christians in the south, and it is divided into three major ethnic groups: Igbo, Yorubas, Hausas. Okay, so now each is, when these ethnic groups and the religion is always something that cause problem. Okay, so now each parties are not formed based on ideologies. You get, they are formed based on interest. Now this tribe, let's say the three tribes are the Yorubas, Hausas, and the Igbos. Now two tribes two tribes in the south, the Igbos and the Yorubas, and the one tribe in the north, the north, they are the Hausas, Fulanis. They are like, they intermarried, so they became one. So now how the politics works is, instead of them to bring out an ideology, okay, this is what we want for the nation. Okay, this is how we want to develop this. This is okay, let's say most of our resources are concentrated in 3 or 2 major cities, one in Lagos, one in Port Harcourt, and one in Abuja. Let's say a political party should be able to like put out a plan, like in our next 4 years, we should be able to at least draw even development to other areas. Then the other party should say, okay, this is what they want. They want to shift towards socialism or capitalism, like just ideologies. But instead, what this party does is to project their ethnicism instead of the ideology. So currently, if we as youths, or if we are supposed to vote for those kind of political parties, the urge to vote will not be there. You understand? So these are the reasons why there are political apathy in the country. No, there is no reasonable ideology. So when we look at these two political parties, nobody is willing to come out to vote for them. So if there's a party that has more standing, like more vision, there will be, that is the kind of party we should look out for. But we don't have that party here. So I think if we are to look at a vision, like look at a party, or look at where to cast our vote, or the political party to follow, it should be a political party that has vision for the country, a vision of unity, a vision of development, a vision of education, a vision of progress for the country, not a vision that intends to keep a particular group of people in power, or a particular ethnic group in power. So that's it.
It's more. That's exactly how it is over here. But instead of ethnic groups, they do it. America's a very capitalistic, money-hungry society, so they tend to separate the poor from the middle, from the rich, and from the super rich. So that's exactly how it is over here. So the political struggle is that they're creating too much of a divide, and they're pretty much being selfish. They're being selfish, and they're looking out for their people first, is what you're saying. Well, that's what I perceive that you're saying. So that's a problem and a challenge that you think that that Nigerians face when it comes to the political structure. That's unfortunate, bro. So let me ask you this: what is I kind of want to get my tripod, bro. That's cool. I'll hold it. What is when it comes to the race of the government, the race and the religion, are they, because you said it's diverse, are they minority white, minority
Okay.
black, Muslim, Christians. How does it look? Because you know every president except for one and a half was black. I mean, was white, and they're all Christians. I think it was like 2 Jewish presidents, but they weren't Jewish by religion; they were Jewish by blood.
Okay. As it is right now, yeah, in Nigeria, it's much of ethnicism than race. When I look at American system and those in Europe, they talk more of race and color.
Mhm.
But here in Nigeria, our problem is ethnicism and religion. Okay,
Mhm.
in our political system, let's say, according to the constitution, the president or the vice president should be a Christian, one should be a Muslim. So when parties make decision, one has to be a Christian and one has to be a Muslim. Then one has to come from the north and one has to come from the south. So the south now is, as I said earlier, the south consists of the Igbos and the Yorubas, while the north is just the Hausas, Fulanis. Just like Hausa Fulani, they are like joint. So one has to come from that side, and the other one come from the other side. So it has to be from there, and one must be Christian. So one must be Muslim. Then for the Igbos, we have more of I think 99%. No, there should be 80% Christians. Then traditionalists should be not much. Then I don't think they don't have Muslim population here in the Igbo side. Then the Yoruba side has more Christians who are Protestants, and then low Muslim population and a traditionalist too. Then down to the north. The north are predominant Muslims, and they practice strict Sharia laws. Those Sharia laws are brutal, so they practice this kind of law. So this is how the disunity is. So let me not call it a disunity. This is how the whole kind of split is. So that is it.
That's pretty interesting, bro. That's pretty interesting.
We
need to do that here.
I must add one more thing. I also forgot to add that we had a bloody civil war some years back against I think a tribe, which should be my tribe versus the rest of the country. That should be years back. So, and it's still something that haunts the country up to now, because the same tribe, which is my tribe, are still fighting to break out. So that is it.
Before we go forward, man, I just want to say, guys, make sure you like this video, share this video. Everybody needs to become empowered. Everybody needs this knowledge, man. Whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Brazil, black, white, whatever you are, whether you're in the UK, China, everybody needs, this dude is spitting some fire. This is already a great discussion, man. So make sure you go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, click that notification bell, man, because everybody needs to know this, man. This is why we're in the situation that we're in, with us being forced in the house and all the police brutality and everything that's going on. This is why, we're having this discussion, because it's not all cotton candy and sugar balls every day. Yes, I like to entertain and have fun with you guys, but today this is more serious. We need to be adults at some point and learn about these things, man. This is very, very enlightening, man. Very, very enlightening, man. I really appreciate this. So let me just ask you, this has nothing to do with what's going on, but actually I'll just tie it in. What made you, how long have you been doing YouTube, and what made you act at this point? How long have you been doing YouTube, and what made you go into YouTube and talk about politics on your YouTube? Because that's very rare, and they don't want to see that, the people, the big people.
Okay. I said that should be 2016 or so, around then. That was when I started.
What'd you say?
said I started 2016.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay. That when it was still good back then, huh?
Well, actually wasn't really posting.
When they didn't have all the bots and the censorship. I get you, bro. So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna try to tie this together. I'm not a professional journalist, my guy.
Okay.
I'm just trying to. What is you kind of said this already, but what is the current state overall of politics in Nigeria?
Well,
Like, do you think it's super corrupt? No, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Well, I should make use of the previous election. Okay, that went on last. I think last year. That should be February or March last year. Okay, so with the example I should give, you should be able to cover up the overall politics in Nigeria. In that election, it was contested between the PDP and APC. That is the two predominant political parties we have in Nigeria, just as you have the Democrat and the Republican. But we also have other political parties that most people don't know of. I think 90% of Nigerians don't know we have other political parties along the way. So now it was contested between a person from the north, two persons from the north, with southern runner-ups. One of the southern runner-ups was from the Yoruba tribe. The other southern runner-up was from the Igbo tribe. Now, what the whole thing happened was the northern tribe aligned with the the northern tribe aligned with the Yorubas to rig the election. So what is happening in Nigerian politics today is tribes rigging election to continue to stay in power. So how they plan on, currently as we speak, their ballot papers, the election was last conducted last year, but their ballot papers for 2023 election, currently as we speak, they've started moving federal fund that is supposed to be spent on people, but they've been like the poor masses, just most especially in this corona period. But this money now is being sent to prepare for campaign that will happen in 2023. So that is the kind of problem we have in this country. That's the political face of this country. Is something that is more about this ethnic aligning with another ethnic to hold power, to continue to share power between themselves, leaving others leaving others confused and just watching. So the political phase here is not really nice. It's not. That is why we have Nigerians leaving the country. We have more Nigerians living every day by the more skilled labor, more trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea over to Europe, trying to cross to Asia, because the life here is not as easy as it seems. So political phase here is something else, and I don't wish for this to continue to remain the same. So that's it.
How would you solve that issue of there being some corruption and all the cheating and all the imbalance? Like, is there some kind of check and balance?
If I was the president, or if check and balance, well, there is a kind of check and balance, but our federal system is kind of different from that practiced in the United States or anywhere. Ours own is more of a presidential system. The president holds the highest power. We have a House of Rep, we have the Senate, which form the National Assembly, but they are just like puppets. They care more about cars. They can spend a day. They can sign a bill to allocate cars and refurbishment for their houses and others. But in a day or in 2 hours, it will pass first reading, second reading, third reading, and move down to president's office to sign, and the president will sign. But when it comes to educational bill and more development bill, that bill will be in the house for years to come. Up till now, we still have more important bills. So if checks and balance is nothing, the judicial system is the worst. I don't want to say the worst in the world, but it's so bad. If you go to prison, I know it's almost everywhere. Like everyone is experiencing, every country, some are experiencing this issue of some persons not being taken to court for if they have problem. But the judicial system, the president is just like the chief justice of the country. So everybody answers to him, even the speaker, the deputy speaker. And currently, as it is now, the current party, APC, controls both the House and the Senate. So you see, whenever the president needs anything, he will get it. And they don't even listen to House members. The opposition party is just like nothing. So as it is now, check and balance is not working. I think the best solution. Okay.
You there, bro?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so the best solution that most of us, mostly in the South, are agitating for, and some in the North, is for the country to be restructured, or the country should be restructured. Why the Igbos are asking for independence, which if the Igbos should leave, the Yorubas will leave definitely. The North will be a total breakup into 3 or 4 new countries in West Africa. And if that happens, the British creation of 1914, which was a union that was supposed to last for 100 years, it expired in 2014, which was now currently any country is any ethnic group is free to break out, whether by force or above. It's not constitutional for any of them to break out. Anyone that tries to break out is a rebellion and is treason. So as it is now, restructuring is the only option, but the government in power does not want to restructure. Some are planning to send the country back to regionalism, which gives the ethnic groups or regions more autonomy to make laws and all that. That would be the best solution as it seems now. But if they don't restructure the country to the next election, which should be in 2023, the American government under, I think, George Obama once predicted the break out of Nigeria would break. That was in 2015 election, and actually it didn't happen. So now this time I am foreseeing that if things are not being carried out, there may be a civil war that will result to break out of the country. But it's not, I'm not certain, I'm just making a prediction if this country is not restructured, because the agitation in the East, where I am right now, is just too much. So that is it.
My a good friend of mine wants to know what tribe you come from, if you don't mind answering that.
Okay.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
No problem.
Yeah, I have a Nigerian friend. His name's Valentine. When I first met him, because I had a Nigerian homie before, and I asked him, I knew a little bit about the different tribes and things, and I asked him what tribe he came from, and he did not want to tell me. I was like, dude, what is the big freaking secret? What do you think I am, a freaking Nigerian spy or something? I was like, what is wrong with you? Are you illegal? Are you supposed to be over here, bro? But nah, he was not trying to tell me, man. Let me ask you this one thing, and then after that, you could just pretty much freestyle and talk about what you want to talk about, and then we could just talk about that. What is the attitude? What is the world view of Nigerian politics? What are the people outside of Nigeria who are well informed? what do they think about the politicians and the leaders there? Because you already know everybody thinks Donald Trump is a freaking idiot and he's a bully and he's a freaking everything that he is or he isn't. Personally, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I think Donald Trump is brilliant. I think he's doing what he's supposed to do. A lot of people don't a lot of people don't read up on what he's doing and just how he speaks. People think he's exactly what he's not. But what do people think overall about the leaders of Nigeria and the politics overall of Nigeria?
Okay, are you talking about Nigerians in diaspora or other African countries and the world entirely?
Well, you could say the rest of Africa, but the world overall. What do people think? You could start with Africa, then you can go to the rest of the world.
Okay. As for Africa, I seriously it's kind of funny because we were labeled as the giant of Africa, and as it stands now, yeah, we are labeled as the giant of Africa because of the rules we played after independence from 1960 to 1970 when we had oil boom. So other African nations started coming over, like other citizens of African nations, so started coming over to enjoy the wealth of the 70s until currently now. And as it stands now, most African countries see Nigeria as heaven. Okay, let's say some see Nigeria as a white country in Africa. Why? Because they don't really because how we portray Africa to the how we portray Nigeria to Africans is not how we see it here. Okay, if you look at the past African Union, that is African Union, ECOWAS, and the role Nigeria has been playing, our foreign policy towards African countries are good. So we portray this good attitude outside, but when the problem, you can see Nigerians complaining at home, like we can be in our country here, complain, but when we get out there, once we cross the border to another country, you see us hype our country like it's all better there. So currently they don't see the situation we are seeing in our country. We are expecting much more than the government is giving us. Okay, so that is why it's easier for us to complain. But when you go out to other African countries, you see that most are suffering more than we are. But some Rwanda, I think, yeah, in Rwanda they have capital city. Kigali is the cleanest city in Africa, but that is Rwanda because it's small and the population too is small. But when you come to Nigeria, we have close to 206 or more population people. So you see, with that kind of numbers, when you go to Lagos, you see close to more than 1 million persons in the city. I know it's not up to what's in New York, but the land mass is just too small. So, and the life there, you get more jobs there. So more Africans are seeing Nigeria as a greener pasture, since a greener pasture outside Europe. Now coming to the world, Nigerians are also seeing they don't really see the bad aspect of our government in the world. Okay, it's just recently when the second agitation started for Biafra. That was when they saw that there was other ethnic problems, but our government do well to cover up. And also because Africans too, when they go out, they show there are Africans that go out, Nigerians that go out that also commit crimes, and it gives the country a very bad name. But there are also Nigerians that go out and they've done very well. In the UK or in the United States, we have high number of people there from Nigeria who are doing well, who are progressing academically and both in the medical field, mostly in the UK. So this has brought also a good name. But when it comes to politically, they see our country as a strong country in Africa, but when they come down to the Nigeria, you can only see what we are going through when you come down here to Nigeria, but they don't see it out here. But we are shouting, we tweet, we follow instinct, and we follow media organization to cry out to the world to see what's going on, but they don't really believe until they come down here. So as it seems, I think we're portraying a good kind of shape to the world and to Africa mostly. So that is just.
That's what's up, man. I mean, whatever you want to cover, man. We got about 10 more minutes. I do want to say that I'm glad that we have the opportunity to speak up on this, because a lot of people, like you said, a lot of Nigerians that I've interacted with are not nearly as informed as you are. It seems like they're just trying to escape something, and they don't know what exactly they are trying to escape. It's not like I have this large circle of Nigerian friends or anything like that, but I did in past try to understand more about the culture, specifically politically. But I think Nigerians are like the fourth richest people in this country, the Indians being first, then the Jews, and then Asians, and then I think Nigerians. So I think that comes from the political structure of Nigeria and just feeling so stifled. And they're very like the Nigerians that I know about, that I personally met, are very politically involved in America. So whatever you want to touch on, man, just let the people know what you're doing with your channel. Let the people know what you're doing with your political movement, how they can contact you, consultations, because you told me that you probably know a lot more about, U.S. politics and things like that. I'm also going to send you some links that I've been watching. I have one of my mentors, actually. He changed the law in his hometown. It's called the police accountability law, where there's a lot of things that that go into that law, but he did it himself. He got signatures, he got people to vote, he raised the money himself. He's going to California next. He's changing the law in California where your bond, like if you go to jail or if you commit a crime, your bond and your ticket price is going to be according to your income and your address and how much you make and things like that. So you can speak on some. First, I want to tell the people what your goals are. Where they could find you. If they want to be enlightened on politics and changing laws and making movements and just go into that and just leave a good taste in their mouth, man, so you can get some of this work done that you need done, man.
Okay. I run a YouTube channel which I just started recently, and actually I opened it years back, but I just started adding content recently. And the content I want to focus on more is I focus on politics and focus on geography, Africa. I love discussing about Africa. I also have a blog. The www.theorangejournal.com.
Spell it out for me. I'm gonna put it in the comments for you, bro. www.what?
Okay, www.theorangejournal.com.
Orange, like the color orange?
Yeah, like the color orange, the orange journal.
How do you spell the second word?
The Orange Journal, Journal, JOURNAL.com.
Oh, Orange Journal. Okay, my bad, bro.
Yeah, the Orange Journal.
All right.
And I tweet. I love tweeting a lot. I love tweeting. I love criticizing my government, most especially when it comes to things I don't like. My Twitter handle is EarlAlex Official. EarlAlex Official. I have on the ground as well, but I don't really post there I only post when I have a new photo. But and that's also else Alex too. And I would love it if you guys keep checking up on my blog and as well, because I'm free. You can reach up on me through any of my platform. If you can get through me through my email, Twitter, you can reach me through my blog and get my mail from there. You can send me messages. I'm free to answer your million messages at any time of the day. I'm free to discuss. I'm open to more discussion with you. I'm open to talk to you about anything about Nigeria, about geography, about the world, anything about politics mostly. I'm free to discuss. I'm free to also support when it comes to advice. And also planning on starting a campaign very soon, which will deal more on adult education, which is one of the vital importance, one of the vital important things we need in Nigeria. If our adult population can be educated, I think they will be able to know more about the political life. They'll be able to lay a solid foundation for their children. Because if my father's generation, his own father's generation had made the right political choice. Mm-hmm. I know rigging is African thing, but at least if they know what they voted for and protected it, the condition of Nigeria won't have been as it is now. So thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate being here with you, and I hope I can as well have the opportunity, because it is a privilege to be on the show with you today. I hope I can have the opportunity another time to, come out and still say hi to your fans and discuss something else. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, that's a fact, man. I appreciate you coming and enlightening us, man, and inspiring us, because we really need this type of information. We need to know what you know, man, so we could change our own country, bro. So we could change our own worlds and do this thing real Gullah World style, man, one by one. But yeah, man, I appreciate you stepping in. Send me your link so I could change the title and put your information so that people can contact you, man, and become further enlightened, bro. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You have a nice, it's probably nighttime there, right?
Yeah, it's night over here. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, thank you.
All day, peace.
Yeah.
See, man, we got to help out, man. We got to get into this. We have to understand our position in this world. Did you hear everything he said? Now, it was kind of hard for me to understand some of the things he was saying, because I can't relate when it comes to, being in America. But a lot of things were very similar, man. So we have to become more politically aware. It's not all freaking cotton candy and bubblegum all the time, man. We got people. Nigeria, I think, is the most abundant country in Africa, either Nigeria or Egypt, I can't remember. But some of the things that he was speaking about, them being money hungry and divided and people just being totally ignorant, that's not okay, because that's what we do over here. We are brothers of the same exact struggle, man. I need everybody to, there were some questions that, I didn't necessarily touch on, but he spoke them before, so I didn't even have to ask. So if you want to see more videos like this, we have a real special guest coming on in a couple weeks. I already lined that up. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but give this video a thumbs up. Go to his blog, go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter. He already said his Twitter handle is the same as his Instagram handle. But I really appreciate you guys for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, not saying anything ignorant, not trying to, mess with the energies or anything like that. I want to say thank you guys for holding it down for me once again, not embarrassing my guests, not embarrassing me, because you represent me. This is our country, and we are citizens of the soul. So I want to say Thank you, man. I'm the bang, you the bang. We the bang together, man. Until next time, this is Bro Talk episode 6. Peace. Love you. Breathe it in.